There's a lot that I need to do today. I need to do the dishes, the laundry, the mopping, the vacuuming, the dusting. Oh, and food shopping.
I'm gonna go cut down a tree branch in the far back of our house that no one sees. Be back in 5 hours.
Hey everyone, it's your favorite Black single mom here, and today I wanted to talk about vetting. So I was on a panel last night, and once more I saw how people are unfairly very critical of women and the fact that we don't quote unquote know how to vet these dusty ass males. We know these males are out here, y'all, lying all over the place. I feel like at this point that lying is just a way of life for males. It is literally like their culture. I think it's almost like hardwired in their DNA. So to put the onus on a woman and say that she should have chose better or known better, blah, 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 I think is full of crap. So I wanted to I'm just going to start posting video after video after video after video of all the women who were told to quote unquote choose better or to quote unquote vet. Because the reality is we just need to be raising better men. Instead of telling women to choose better, become a better man, period. And yes, there are red flags, and obviously as a woman and a girl's girl, I will definitely tell women any red flags I can try to educate you all on or school you on or give you that tea or whatever, honey. But the bottom line is no woman, if the FBI can't analyze these ning-nogs, if the police are letting them back out on the streets with all their felonies and then they go on to unalive somebody, like so on and so forth. Like, why are women who are already conditioned to believe in a fucking fairy tale that males are going to save the day and be this white knight and blah, blah, blah. Like, obviously, we're already coming into it unprepared. Like, women are not raised to be okay with sleeping around, with manipulating boys to get sex. We're not, playing games with boys. We usually really think this is going to be the one. This is going to be my soulmate. This is going to be the fairy tale. And I'm going to have the white picket fence with the 2.5 kids. And people are still dragging women on Beyonce's internet, telling them that they should have known better. And yeah, I have another video for something else I'm going to talk about, but let's go ahead and get right into these comments, shall we? So this woman is talking about, she took 4 months of paternity leave. Her video is basically talking about how it's satire because she dressed up as a guy. So obviously that's not her actual husband. I don't know if she's married. I just came across this video. But she's basically talking about how women will literally have just had a child. And I guess she's talking about like the man will take 4 months of paternity leave and literally not help her around the house still. Even with him taking paternity leave because she just had a baby. So you took leave because she had a baby to still not help. She's literally healing from having a whole human or possibly more than one human. And you're sitting here like, I'm going to go cut the branch down way in the back in the woods somewhere that no one cares about while you are cleaning the house, cooking, taking care of the baby, which honestly, a newborn baby, and especially if it's more than one, I should know because I have twins. At one time, like, that's the full-time job by itself. You're lucky if you get to sleep. Even when I just had my one child, like one baby, one newborn baby, one child, I was so exhausted. I literally just like fall asleep, my boob in his mouth so he can get some breast milk and I will pass the fuck back out. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Y'all know I keep it a buck. But let's go ahead and get into these comments because these comments are freaking crazy. So, of course, you have the woman who has all the answers. You're always going to get the one who acts like she knows everything. So she's going to pretend her life is perfect. And she says, this is why you live with a man before you have his child or get married. They always show you how irresponsible they will be. And they don't get better after kids, only worse. So watch out for those lazy red flags before any commitment. And of course, she's just expecting women to have it all figured out because she's pretending that her life is perfect. First and foremost, a lot of people will tell you do not even live with the man before you get married to them. So you're getting all this advice thrown at you as a woman, and all the burden as usual put on the woman, because when the man misbehaves, guess whose fault it is? It's the woman. So we're talking about, don't infantilize, what I really think is infantize a woman, but let's call the man a whole baby boy and just treat him like a child and say, oh, you know, you should have known he wasn't going to clean up, or he just basically your fifth kid. You know, you have 4 kids and you got him too, even though it's supposed to be your big old husband. No, males are never freaking held accountable, like ever. I'm at this point where I'm starting to think our society, probably even the world, because of the system of patriarchy, are incapable of holding males the fuck accountable. Like, I don't care. You do not need to be knowing about all these red flags. And then that's basically putting more burden on women if we miss the fucking red flag. So it's like, not only am I being mistreated by this clown who's a grown human being who should know how to treat other humans, because you should have learned right from wrong when you were like 2 years old. But now I have to be re-traumatized and re-victimized to feel bad that I missed some fucking red flags that I probably did overlook, because God forbid you believe in someone and think they're going to be a good person and try to give them a chance. Obviously, when you find out the whole shit show is here, then you're not going to most likely go through that crap again. But hey, who's psychic over here? Like, who's going to figure this out? So let me look at these comments right here so y'all can see what these people are responding to her and saying. So this woman said, Lisa Greco, no. But they can be great before kids, but totally suck once those bigger responsibilities come. Exactly. Some don't step up, and you never know beforehand. Even waiting a decade, you still might not get it. Exactly. It's like, guess what? Here's a newsflash, everyone. People change. I know people don't. This is so funny to me, because I'm like, are we really having this conversation in 2024 with all these males lying online, telling you how they manipulate women? We're constantly catching them in these like elaborate freaking schemes that they put on women. They're literally lying in our effing faces, playing in our faces all day, every day, just like Derek Jackson, Kevin Samuels, and lots of women will follow him off a cliff somewhere, as well as all these clown males. Pretty much any male, as long as you have a penis, you open your mouth, like, people are going to be listening to you, no matter how many times it's discovered that he was living a complete lie. He was not walking in his own truth. Like, whatever he was pandering and preaching to everybody, including all these pastors in these churches, people are still going to follow this man. Or this really is a male, because to me, you're not a real man if you don't even follow, your actions don't match your words. You're a whole problem. But even with all that does, like, men will still sit here, and women, and still be looking at other women like, you should be holding these guys accountable. They don't even hold themselves accountable. How am I supposed to be holding another grown person accountable? Like, all I can do is try to get myself out of that situation. Like, whenever I finally figure out this person is a whole joke. But at the end of the day, when are we going to have smoke for these males for being a whole hot mess? Because at this point, I'm just telling women, just don't date. Just 4B, keep it moving. Don't even date. Don't even bother, because trying to vet them is next to impossible. Just assume every male you run into is going to be lying in your whole damn face. So let's continue. So she's talking about, the guys change. We should know that, especially when we know how much they freaking lie. Who else was that guy? Oh, yeah, freaking Frack. They literally sit on their podcast and tell women how they manipulate women to get sex from them, and then tell these women to have abortions. Then they get caught up in their own drama, and I'm pretty sure women are still following them, and males. And yeah, they got dragged, they got clowned or whatever. But I'm like, when you see that kind of stuff, like, that should tell you right there, ladies, and even gentlemen, which I'm starting to believe that all men have internalized misogyny, whether they think that they're a feminist or not. But everybody should know that these people lie. These male humans, they do lie. So you really have to be very, like, how are women ever going to stand a chance to even think? And then if you fall in love, obviously you're not thinking rationally at that point. So that's like a whole nother issue. Like, it's literally a biological chemical, a hormone that causes you to not be able to see clearly. And these are around the times where the guy is on top of that, love bombing you. So what vetting? What the fuck vetting are we doing in this stage, please? Like, please let me know. So let's continue. And I feel like that's really happening because God knows if women saw males as clearly as we needed to see them, there would be no more human race. The human race would just be gone. We just wouldn't deal with these dudes because we would see right through them. Because by the time them 4 months is up and you can see right through that guy, like, you're gone. You're going to be gone. So I think it's really trifling and disingenuous to judge a woman for making mistakes within like the first 4 months of like meeting a guy, because you're not even thinking clearly. It's just like trying to blame kids for certain things that they do, knowing that their brain's not even fully developed. It's not fair. It's not right. It's not scientifically sound. It doesn't make any sense. So let's continue. So this person said, Samantha Carroll, that's true, but if they suck before, they will suck after. At least there is a chance they won't suck after. So yeah, obviously, like obviously, but a lot of times they don't suck. And it is after they get the baby that they're like, wait, I don't want this responsibility, or now I'm being lazy bones. People change. And then she said, plus, really talk about what having a kid means and what responsibilities will be shared before having a kid. Again, whose onus are we putting this on, the woman or the male? So I just want to remind you all, like, are we both putting the accountability and the responsibility on both parties? Because we better not dare blame the woman without blaming the male, because it takes two to tango. So let me continue. So this person saying, Samantha Carey, yeah, my ex-husband, and this is where it really starts getting crazy, y'all. She said, my ex-husband didn't grape me till 13 years. They never show their true colors right away. Exactly. And honestly, like from my own experience, just dating and being in at least 2 very long relationships, one was a marriage, you don't, like, typically, I don't think people know how to recover from like a relationship sometimes when it goes south. So it just progressively get worse. Like it just gets worse year after year. You resent your spouse more and more and more. So it definitely can get worse. So to sit there and tell somebody that, oh, you should have known better, or you should have vetted him better, or you should have chosen better. Like, child, bye. Like, this person in the first year, the second year of marriage is not going to be the same person in the 10th year of marriage. Please go have several seeds. Next person, and a lot of people that tell you that advice, they've never been married, probably haven't even been in marriage or a relationship longer than 2 minutes. So how are you talking to me right now? Okay, so the next person, Samantha Carroll, is responding to Melanie Friesen. She says, took mine a lot of years before he did. So she's basically saying that her husband raped her as well. Okay. Kay Hollywood said, this is true. She's responding to Samantha Carroll. She says, my high school sweetheart was with him for a long time, almost 10 years later, and we had a kid. He had always been there, but after the baby was born, he was gone and lived in another city. He didn't come back until our daughter was 5. He was great before our child. I've been with someone else for 2 years, and he is so attentive with our child and is just a stellar partner. You can never know for sure, and you really can't. And to try to gaslight and manipulate women into pretending that we're supposed to know all the ins and outs. If this guy's going to be a perfect husband, a perfect partner, a perfect father, child, bye. No, we're not going to know. We're not going to know. And instead of us blaming women with one more goddamn thing that we have to carry on our goddamn backs, like we're already doing everything else and carrying all the weight of all the other issues in the entire society, we need to figure out as a community, like not just black community, because I don't think black communities exist, but as an entire nation, like how to best serve single mothers. Because the reality is single motherhood is on the rise and is going to continue to be on the rise. Either that or women are just going to stop having babies altogether. So that's just what it is. Neither option is going to be we're going to start liking men more and being with men more. That is not happening. That's just not happening. Like women are literally swearing off men completely. AKA the 4B movement. So that's literally taking us in a completely different direction. And sitting here blaming women all day long for not vetting properly, you know what women are going to do? They're just going to get sick of it. Yeah, we're just going to get tired of it. And we're just going to walk away and say, fuck it. Like, I can't win for losing. It doesn't matter. Like, people are going to blame me for being bitter or not being able to have an open mind or an open heart to him or walking around with my baggage. Or they're going to blame you for being gullible and naive and too stupid and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, you know what? I'm just going to tap out of this. I'm just going to walk out And you guys can be single and lonely, and I really don't give a shit, because that's pretty much what I've been doing for the last 2 years, going on 3 probably. I could care less. I really could care less. But I'm at a different stage in my life where I'm not trying to have babies. I'm already done. My life is, I'm good. I'm in a really great place. Like, I'm just not worried about the things that a lot of people are worried about when it comes to relationships. So I can easily say that and just like lose no sleep. A lot of people still have a lot of family planning to do. They want to have kids, or even if they don't want to have kids, they don't want to die alone. They want to meet the one still. They still think the one's out there. So good luck. I mean, I have no clue how we're going to tell you to date. We just, like, how do we tell you? I feel like every time I turn around, people are moving the goalposts. So good luck, honey. I mean, the only dating advice I can give women, I would say, is do not get on dating apps. Just don't. Even though they say there's a very high number, and they might be increasing, of people who are meeting on dating apps and getting married, but the marriage rates are declining, and so are the divorce rates. So and the divorce rates are declining because the marriage rates aren't even happening to begin with. People are not even getting married to begin with. So obviously divorce rates are going to decline. But the numbers actually get worse. So if you're on your second or third marriage, forget about it. Like, you have even a smaller chance than before. And before it was already halfway, just you had 50-50 of if it's working or not working. So by the time you get to the second marriage or the third marriage, is that much more higher of a chance. It's just not going to happen for you. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so this one is saying yes. This woman saying yes, even when they're the ones who want the kid. Once it comes, they expect you to sacrifice everything. Been there, done that, never again. And that literally happened to me with my first child. Now, he was not an accident. We tried for him, and then the guy turned out to be a hoe bomb. So miss me with it. And I was like 21 years old. He was like 28. But like, people will still, and it's sad that I even had to say that, like, people will still figure out a way to be like, you should have chose better. No, I shouldn't have. I fell in love and dated a stupid guy that was a whole clown. And what are you going to do? All you can do at that point is just know when to leave, know when to get up from the table when love is not being served anymore, and try not to make the same mistake again. The key word here is try. And the only way you can really try not to make the same mistake is try to date someone different. But guess what? People will be like, oh, get with the educated lane. The educated lanes are just as crazy as the Dusty's and the Pookies and the Ray Rays. So, like I said, ladies, good luck out there, and put your seatbelt on, because it's going to be a bumpy ride. So here we have the next person saying, Lisa Greco, absolutely. I should have known by the way he kept his house, I wasn't getting any help. I just brushed it off as him being a man, but it's completely disrespectful. Exactly. My ex-fiance, it's weird because he actually went back opposite. He was like really not clean at all, and now his house is like really clean, but he like doesn't really have anything in it, so it can make it, it's easier for him to keep it clean, essentially. And he actually became a better, well, I always knew, I felt like he was going to be a good father, but he was like a jerk when I was pregnant, and then he like was in love with the kid. So it's like, you just never know. So let's continue. So this woman is saying, you get to know him in other capacities. See how he treats his family. Listen to how he talks about his boss or subordinates. Watch his interactions with people who are serving him, like waitresses. Things like that will show his true character. And when someone shows you who they are, believe them. So she's basically putting on women again, saying leave if the guy's crazy. Like, so good luck, women. Try that and see if that works for you. So next person saying, unless they are people pleasers. You can see, everyone's like, what if it's, but what about this? But what about this? But what about this? But what about this? You'll be here forever. So they're saying you find out everyone else gets a good treatment, but you, not always a good sign. And that is literally a textbook narcissist. That's what narcissists do. They are very, very worried about how people view them in the public. So they are perfect in front of people in the public eye. If they're outside, if people are visiting the house, whatever. Anybody that's not you, if they're around, they're going to be on their best behavior. But like, time they're gone, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, it's like a whole nother person. So you could be, and of course, like, you may pick up on that red flag before you have children with that person, depending on how long you wait before you have children. That's another piece of advice I would give women, is try to wait 4 months to get to know this person. I know it seems like hilarious, but women, things be happening, life be lifing. So you might be like, oh, we're falling in love and getting married really quickly, whatever. But I feel like in my own experience, like, wait at least 4 months, because usually by 4 months, you can start to see things very clearly by then. So if he's still the the man of your dreams after 4 months, then he's probably a keeper. That's all I can give you. That's like, he may or may not be weird afterwards. So this woman is responding and saying, sometimes it still doesn't matter. People lie so well, especially if their parents taught them growing up. I was with mine for 5 years before getting married. I saw all his seasons. I even moved to a different country 1 month after getting married to him. Guess what? He changed big time. I did see highlights of potential, but you just never know. He was going to school to finish his PhD. His family seemed genuine and nice. Nope. 11 years married and 16 years together. And after multiple children, they bought a house 4.5 years ago with her father's inheritance. And then he asked her to leave. And guess what? She probably does not have, because she didn't mention that she was what she was doing for a living. So she probably don't got a damn bit of job. And he's a whole doctor because he has a PhD. So he's probably making all the money. And he's like, yeah, you can't afford to live here, but I can. Goodbye. And I'm moving in my younger version of you. Because it's always about close to 20 years that these marriages are ending. And they're like bringing in their new, what do you call it? The newer model. Hence the first wives club that everybody acts like doesn't exist apparently now. But yeah, that's the whole thing. That's really the whole thing. It's actually a movie that I actually love. That movie with, what is it? Diane Keaton in there. I love her. And like some other women that I really love, coming from like the 80s, 90s. And then, you have the First Wives Club, the series on Netflix, I want to say, with, y'all don't give me the line. Is it Jill Scott? It's Jill Scott. It's Jill Scott and some other beautiful black women. But yeah, this is a thing. And it's like, why would there be a whole thing called the First Wives Club if males were like, and it's just known. It's literally just known that males are trading in their wives for like a younger model after about 20 years when the wife's looks, I guess, start to go down because we all age and she's haggard probably from him being a whole a-hole and raising kids and doing everything under the sun of being a married single mother. And now he's like, oh, well, I think I'm going to fall in love with my secretary or the fitness instructor that I work out with on every Friday, which we know what that really means when he says workout, right? And now he also wants to relive some youth and have a midlife crisis and have some more babies with the younger model because his wife, who's much older, cannot have any more kids. Yada, yada, yada. So men got to spread that sperm. So the next one is saying, yep, I made that mistake. My ex-husband did absolutely nothing around the house and would complain relentlessly when it was time to mow our 0.1 acre lawn. I can't even say it with a straight face. He financially provided for our family, which I greatly appreciated. I just wanted a little help without complaining. Exactly. And then the next one is saying good advice, I guess, but they change. My husband is a rare one that changed for the better. Yeah, some changed for the better. So people who are like, oh, it's a red flag, get out of there. It's like, sometimes that could have been your person. Like, what are you talking about right now? So we have to, at some point, we have to get serious and real about things. Like, we cannot pretend, especially when these are people that they're not married. These are people giving advice who've never been married, who don't have long-term relationships that we know of, that have been successful. So it's like, who are you to tell people that this is what they're supposed to be following? Like, what's your track record? I'll wait. Okay, so the next person is saying good advice, I guess, but they changed. My husband is a rare one. He changed for the better, but mom doing everything is the default. Exactly. It really is. Whether you got a good man or a shit man or whatever, your mother in this society is going to carry the whole goddamn burden. Like, like you're lucky if your husband is like one of those guys who just is a good person and helps. You're feeling grateful for that, but we really shouldn't have to. That literally should just be like the default. Like, expect it. Because he's another grown adult. Like, if he wasn't living with you, like, who's going to clean up behind him and feed him? It's weird. It's a study fact that women do a large share of household chores after having kids, even if it was fair before kids. And women also do a lot of child rearing. Like, the schools just call me. I have to tell them 100 times. They do have another whole big human being that helped me create them. So, like, it would be more normal to me if people were like, oh, so is dad going to be coming? Like, they never ask about dad, no matter how many times I bring him up. Everyone just assumes, and this is not just my ex-fiance. So it's not just him personally. It's like my ex-husband, it was the same way with him when I was married, not married. It doesn't matter. It's just mom is the only one that matters. Let's put all the burden on her. Like, we put all the burden of everything on women. And to that, I say, fuck that. Fuck the shame. Fuck all that burden. Like, women, push back and just don't even bother with it. Don't entertain it. Don't feel bad if you miss some red flags. I mean, yes, you don't want to get hurt. There are red flags that happen. For people to sit there and like, you should have done. It's like, where's your successful relationship? What's your track record? Like, where's all your proof that you're living your best life and that your life is so successful with this marriage that everyone's coveting? Okay. So the next one is saying, this is how they're raised. Mine is horrible now. Disabled. Can't even put napkins or drinks on the table. Well, I do all the rest for a meal. Yet totally capable. At 78, no changing. It seems illness is to get permission to be lazy. What's worse, he's difficult to care for and a danger to himself and to me. Yet the social worker says we can't keep him in a facility against his will. Oh my God. So she's married to a guy and it's a nurse in a purse here. I mean, I don't know if she's a nurse, but I mean, he's disabled. Who's working? Child. Another reason not to get married again. Having that old age and having to take care of them in old age, and he sounds like he's grumpy and a whole jerk. And unappreciative. So she's saying, oh, thanks for supporting me, giving him a free ride card to be lazy while I have back pain, knee pain, and migraines. Exactly. We're aging too. And breaking off teeth from stress and doing it all inside and out. His mother is at fault, not teaching. Yep. I taught mine how to cook, wash clothes, make a bed, sheets, properly keep a house. They help their mate. Exactly. Please teach your sons how to take care of themselves because they're grown and that's what they need. That's, like, why do we have to say this? And then when you give your kids chores, people are like, oh, your child shouldn't, get out of my face. Get out of my face. Get out of my face. Please yeah, just the mush, like, get out of my face. I was just in a conversation, this person was like, oh, parents should be, everything I said, it was like, parents can't get it right. Oh, your child is going to be influenced by their peers and they're going to do these bad things. Oh, but parents should still be held responsible for what they do. What are you talking about here? What are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? It's just like you're either having influence as the parent or you don't. You have to make your mind, honey. Like, everyone's moving this goalpost all over that goalpost is busy. It just be moving all over the place. So this woman responding saying, actually, my husband got worse, but then better after kids. Yep. So they just flopping all over the place with their behavior. I had to do a lot of communication for him to realize that I needed him to do certain things. And I'm not sure if it's changed, but I've heard that living together before marriage and maybe kids is a factor in couples separating. Wow. Didn't the other lady just say move in with him before you get married? Sounds like a whole bunch of contradicting advice in one column, like on one post. That is so interesting because I know I've heard that you shouldn't live with a man before you get married. What is it like? Why buy the cow when you're getting the milk for free or something like that? So guys are just going to put it off, getting married and having responsibility as a husband. Because why should they rush to marry you? You're living with them already and giving them sex. You're cooking, you're cleaning, you're doing all your wifely duties and they haven't given you shit. So why should they change? Especially if you start having kids with them because now he knows you're even more less likely to leave because you're, bogged down with children. So let's continue. So unless it's changed, living together before marriage puts you at higher risk for a failed marriage. Interesting. So basically the woman who was quote unquote knowing it all at the top of this comment section, she is giving out bad advice based on data. So I learned in college in a marriage and family class, it's because one or both parties' expectations changes or doesn't change. Before marriage, she expects XYZ, but after marriage expects ABC and the other wants it to stay the same. Too funny. I could so see that happening. The next person was saying, honest communication before marriage would solve that issue. So here goes another person with all the answers, okay? Guys and honest should not even be in the same sentence, but let me keep going. My man was pretty helpful before kids. Now, not as much. And I did live with him beforehand, like for 3 years. So no, living with a man before you have a child ain't going to show you their red flags. You act like people that don't know how to act the way you want to see them. Then they change when they think they got you trapped. Exactly. That's what I be trying to tell folks. But what do I know at my big age of almost 42? This woman is saying, I guess to a point, you're right, but some have great masks and can wear them for a long time. I waited 5 years. We lived together and I decided, yep, on kids. Well, that remove that mask extremely quickly. And what people don't realize is nothing will change an adult like having another human being, like giving birth to a human being. It's so funny. I mean, it's like it's just the two of you. You can have the perfect relationship. He's understanding. He's caring. He's getting you flowers. He's doing this. He's doing, and now you have a big belly. You're quote unquote fat because you're pregnant. Then he had to look in your vagina that he used to just enjoy to stick his thing in. Now he's seeing a whole human come out of it. Like it tends to make guys look at women a little bit differently. And we know how men are so visual. So of course that really translates to their shallow as fuck. So if they can definitely change when they start to see their woman / wife in a whole new light. So sitting here telling people, oh, if you stay living with him for like 12 years and then marry him, you're going to have it all figured out. No, I can't tell you how many times, who was it? Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt for one, with all their money. Like, I cannot tell you how many times people have dated for like forever, got married, and then got divorced like a year later. Like, God, I just want people to go through shit themselves. Just go through stuff yourself and then come back and call me. It will not get better, only worse. Weaponized incompetence is a painful experience. Didn't I just say that? Like, I feel like people are not equipped with, like, on average, I don't think the average person or persons, I don't know, couple or married couple, whichever, are equipped with how to deal with, like, bad things happening or resentment, basically. Because people are human. Humans are going to human. And they're going to do some stupid crap. So, of course, in the beginning, it's always easy because neither one of you had a chance yet to break each other's heart, to disrespect, to do some trifling crap, whatever. Then you start acquiring things. Like, now you have a house, so you got a mortgage together. Now you lost a job, and you're depending on your other partner until you can get another job. Now you got some kids. It's like the more commitments you pile on, you're still living life. You're still being a human. You're still going to be making some mistakes. And I think people have the hardest time coming back from those mistakes, like forgiving each other, truly, genuinely forgiving and forgetting, and being able to move forward successfully. I think that we as humans just have a hard time doing that. And so what happens is those issues, that resentment starts to fester, and it's like a snowball effect. Like, it just gets bigger and bigger. Every year it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. A lot of times, to be honest, it's because the couple never even addresses the issues they've had. They just ignore them. They avoid them. You always have like that one partner that wants to do the avoidant thing. He doesn't communicate well. It's typically the male. He doesn't want to get any counseling. He doesn't want to address the issues. It's uncomfortable. And sometimes the woman too, it's uncomfortable. So you might stay at work a little late. You might start having an affair. Random things are happening, y'all, but everything's happening but what should be happening, which is resolving these issues. And before you know it, you're 16 years in and you can't stand each other. And what I've learned is a lot of times people are like, let's get out of this before we completely hate each other because we still have to raise these kids. Like, that's really the real story that a lot of people who have not been through this before cannot and will not tell you. They will glamorize marriage. They will pretend that you can see all those red flags. They would tell you to live with somebody 20 years before you marry them. They would tell you what you should have chose better. They would tell you everything, but what they're not going to tell you is the truth. So let me continue here. So it said, I lived with my ex-hub for over 5 years. Nicest person. Child, here she go. Soon as that ring went on, he was pure evil, violent. Living with someone beforehand doesn't show you anything once another variable is added. This case, a child. No, in her case, it was that ring. Like, when males put that ring on you, that's why I refuse to get married to my ex. If they're already abusive before you marry them, don't marry them, ladies. The marriage is not going to make anything better. Child is not going to make anything better. Whatever they're doing that's bad, that's not good, get out of it. Do not say, oh, well, maybe a baby will save this relationship. I was not believing that at all. We just wanted to have more kids. But I was like, this relationship is like a mess. And then also, you do not want to say, oh, once I get married, he's going to stop cheating on me. Once I get married, he's going to have fidelity all of a sudden. Once I get married, he's not going to put hands and feet on me anymore. He's going to become this perfect guy. You're romanticizing it. You are romanticizing it. Do not do it, ladies. Like, if he's misbehaving, abusive, even if it's just like verbal abuse, I promise you that verbal abuse, 9 times out of 10, that verbal abuse will escalate to physical. So time you hear him getting disrespectful, calling you out your name, being controlling, whatever he's doing, yeah, or start planning your escape route, or get the hell out of there if you don't have a lot of things, commitments, baggage, whatever. Get out. Get out. Telling you, as a domestic violence survivor, get out of it. Do not say, oh, well, he'll change. Da, da, da. I remember I talked to this one lady, I called this abuse hotline, and she told me he's not going to change. And she was right. She was right. And I knew she was right. I just had to get all my ducks in a row to get away. But if you see him being mistreating you, because I hate when people just say red flags. What are the red flags? You know what I'm saying? What are these red flags? So I'm going to tell you, one of them is verbal abuse. Like if he calls you the B word, starts talking negative about you, like you're selfish, or you're this, or you can't ever do this right, or whatever. Like it may not even be cuss words yet, or may never be cuss words. But if he's putting you down, you can't ever do anything right, he just always seems unhappy with you for whatever reason, run for the hills. Do not think that your ring and you getting a last name and you having the most beautiful wedding is going to turn him into a good human being. If anything, it will make him worse, because now he's going to feel like, I own you. And that is what my ex used to actually tell me. I own you. Do not let it get to that point. If he ever says that to you and you can get away, get out before, it's just going to go downhill from there. It's going to get worse. So, living with him 50 years or whatever, doesn't matter. The real key is to pay attention to how he treats you. So males can say whatever they want to, but it's really looking at his actions. And then sometimes it's looking at like, okay, are they matching? And this is why I hate giving advice, because it's really unfair that women have to go through this much to deal with these trifling as males. It's really ridiculous. So when people say choose better, choose what? Where is the better? You know what I'm saying? Like that really means just choosing me and just not even dealing with these hobos, because where's the better at? You know what I'm saying? Like we have way too many stories, way too many guys that just didn't make the cut, you know. And there's a guy I follow called, his name is Public Offender. I don't like to, like, I'm not pedestalizing nobody ever, especially not a guy. But I like a lot of things he's saying because it's coming from a man's mouth and it's the truth. And he was saying that, you know, he thinks that women are more human than men are. He thinks we are human, and males, they're not even human yet. They don't know humanity. They don't understand humanity. And he is very reminiscent of Princella. She says that males are incapable of loving women. And it's hard to imagine that, you know, because you've been told your whole life that you'll be able to find your soulmate, your husband, your knight in shining armor, and the prince that's going to come save the day, Prince Charming, you know, and to figure out like that was all a lie. That's a hard pill to swallow. That's a real hard pill to swallow, because you dreamed forever, for years, like you're going to have a baby, or you're going to have babies, you're going to travel and have this beautiful husband who's going to love you adoringly. And it just seems like they're incapable of it. And I don't know if it's because of how they're conditioned or if it's something in their DNA. I don't effing know. And I ain't got time to be trying to figure it out. So, you know, all I can tell women is good luck. You know, God bless you. I pray God is watching over women as we out in these dating streets, in marriage streets, and trying to figure it all out. But it's really, I can't blame women, because males are trifling. Like, I'm more on, as a mother of all boys, like I'm more on raise good men. And I can once more speak from experience, not from what someone else told me, not from me sitting on YouTube and looking at somebody else's life. I'm living it. I'm down in the trenches every single day, raising men, boys to be men, and trying to do my best to raise good men. The proof will be in the pudding. You know, I don't know the future. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. But I can tell you this, I've done my very damn best to not raise trash, to not raise a nothing ass bitch, to not raise a dust ball, a whole dusty, just trash. But it's like, again, they're their own person. So they're going to grow up and be what they're going to be. And I am not going to carry the guilt if they turn out and be a hot mess, because I know I did my best. Women just have to end with the shame. We have to stop. We are so hard on ourselves, and we really have to stop. Do your best every day. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. Because I promise you, most women are doing their best. That's better than anything the male is doing, especially the fathers that's running off. That's all you can do. I mean, in my case, I'm blessed that I have their fathers are involved in their lives. And that's a whole other thing. I don't know what their fathers are teaching them. So I'm only responsible for what I've taught them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I already know what I'm teaching them, and respect women. I don't have any daughters. I do have nieces, but how to raise males to treat women well is like treat girls well, treat women well. Don't hit them no matter what. And I even see women online talking about, oh, well, she hit him first. Absolutely not. You're going to have to put your foot down, moms. Don't let people, don't let people influence what is common sense, what you feel isn't right. Don't listen to people because they're going to give a lot of crap advice. A lot of people giving crap advice don't even have any kids. Like, what are you talking about? Let me continue because this video is getting really long. So this woman is saying, and this is why the older generation of don't live together until you're married were effed and ended up with a man who does nothing outside of his work hours. Okay. I don't know what that means. What did they say? So they said the older generation of they don't live together until you're married were effed and ended up with a man who did nothing outside. Okay, yeah. I guess she's saying if you didn't live with him ahead of time, then you don't know that he's going to be a nothing ass bitch once you live with him. But let me continue. So this person is saying this is why when you cohabit before marriage, you're more likely to get divorced within 5 years. Oh Lord, everyone, all this advice. You actually are also more likely to get divorced within like 5 years, depending on the age that you are when you get married. Like there's so many factors into it that people are sitting here saying, well, this is why this, and this is why this, and this is why this. No, there's like a lot of other things that played a role in that. They say people who don't have degrees are more likely to get divorced. People who don't have family support or even government support are more likely to get divorced. Like there's so many other factors that can play into that. It's like, come on. And so this person said, why not just talk about these things before you get married? And if you're chosen right for one another, you'll manage these issues the right way before and during a marriage. Okay. You have all the answers, honey. Here we go with this person that I'm sure has a story that's not going to jive with what the person before her just said. Well, my older sister is with her husband since 1982. They dated for 2 years and then they lived together. And me and my other sister for 10 years. Then they got married and they are still together stronger than ever. They have 4 children. So I don't believe what you say. Of course, different cultures think and live differently. I'm not sure who she's responding to. Okay, so she's saying this woman or person, Sal, is saying live together before you get married. And then this person underneath her is saying don't live together. Or wait, what? Oh, this person, Sal, is saying you're more likely to get divorced if you live together before marriage. And then the other person saying, oh no, my anecdotal story is that this person lived together for 20 years and got married and they've been together 80 years. Like, we will be here all year. So the next person is saying, sometimes they are fine before babies come, then change, assuming you can do everything because you're not working. Exactly. Like, one thing that's going to change your relationship is babies, okay? It's either can be for the worse, for the better, or worse. This next person is saying, no, they don't. There's a big difference and responsibilities between a couple plus kids. Exactly. Raising children together with another person is insane. A lot of couples will have a lot of arguments just over how to raise the kids, like how to discipline and what to be mad about. Like with my ex-husband, what I learned was that things that he cared about, I didn't care about, and vice versa. And so we had to kind of like make a pact that no matter what we were upset about, whichever one was upset about something the kids did, the other one would have to support them, like be there in solidarity as another parent. Because if kids see parents being divided on an issue, they're going to play you against each other, and that's not going to do anything but hurt your child in the long run. But that requires some real maturity, because a lot of times it's like stuff you may not even agree with that your partner is getting mad about with your child, and you may want to just be like, no honey, that's not about it. But you don't want to undermine the other parent, especially in front of the child, because now the child's looking and saying, oh, okay, so I can play mom against dad. The child does not know any better. The child's brain is not fully developed. They're just trying to survive and get away with whatever they're trying to do with their little selves. So you have to make sure the parents are the adults here and already had that communication and said, okay, this is what we're doing. And that's what we did. Pretty much their entire lives are now our sons are 17 and 19. So we basically did that entire time, whether we were married, not married, living together, not living together, we were always support the other parent with whatever needed to be done. So this next person is saying, yes, I have 2 daughters. I will beg them to live with a potential fiance. Let me stop laughing because these people are crazy. I would beg them to live with a potential fiance for a year, at least before making wedding plans. It's not always about laziness or irresponsibility either. Just knowing if two people work together or not and how to read between the lines. And it's like hard to call it, like some people said, like that could actually lead to a sooner divorce because maybe they are going to change. Things change like crazy. Just getting the title of being a married person changes the two of you. Like, it's just, we already know, like, whether you know it or not, society has rules placed on people based on their titles. And that's why a lot of times people will be like, oh, I don't really like titles. Titles come with rules. So if you're a boyfriend and girlfriend, that's a whole different ball game versus being even just like engaged, being now we're married. It's like now you're like a whole different, it's a lot of different pressure and a lot of work. So here this person is saying, I agree that you should live together first, but disagree that they can't get better after. My husband has gotten better with responsibilities once we have had a kid, and even better at taking care of me now, expecting a second. Oh, that's good to hear. This next person is saying, my kid's dad is a very active bodybuilder. He's always doing something. There was no way to know what type of father he was going to be. And we don't know. She didn't really expound on whether he became a better person with the kid or worse. This person is saying, absolutely, I would live with someone a year before I thought about getting married. And that's the thing, like, it's kind of hard to I mean, unless they already have a child, it's really hard to call it as to whether they're going to be like, oh, I have a kid now, let me stop bodybuilding or do whatever I was doing to focus on the kid. You just don't know. Next one is saying, I feel like you can tell by just knowing who they are. You don't necessarily have to watch it play out to know how it will go. I actually kind of agree with her. It just depends on how much time you get to spend with that person before you actually walk down the aisle or, have a child together. Because some people are long distance. Some people could be in a whole other country. So now it's like, oh, this is the first time we literally have been around each other like on a regular basis. So that's something else to consider is how much time, like the other person mentioned in the comments, how much time are you spending with this person in different capacities so you know how they're going to behave and around different things. And like I said, if they already have a child, that's always a good thing because you can kind of see like, okay, is this a good parent? But again, that still does not guarantee they're going to be a good parent with your child. So it's just a lot of things to observe and watch. And when love is not being served anymore, get out of it. Get up from the table if you as soon as you can. This guy is saying it's funny. Women that work 40 to 60 plus hours a week that have a kid don't complain because child raising is way easier than working with people you don't like. What? I don't think anybody responded to him, and they shouldn't. I think he's talking about the video and like, oh, they're complaining about having to work 40 to 60 plus hours a week, and then I guess we're complaining because we have to raise a kid. Yeah, but is he working 24 hours a day? No, he's not. So please go have several seats, Matthew. The next person is saying, Lisa, you don't have to live with a man to see whether or not he's got his priorities straight. You're giving out bad advice. I can't deal with it. I told you, somebody's going to disagree. That's a given. This woman is saying, living with a man was never this way. It doesn't usually start till you have a kid. Exactly. When you have a kid, the truth, all that truth comes out for better or for worse. This person is saying, Lisa Greco, sometimes it takes years for the mask to slip or after having kids. Exactly. If nothing else changes, you having a child will. Okay. So if you don't have kids yet, I don't care whether you lived with them, didn't live with them, like things are going to be changing. This person is saying, if you have to live with someone before you are able to communicate honestly with each other about your expectations, there is a bigger problem. Yeah. She's saying basically like you shouldn't have to live with someone just to know if it's going to be a good person to marry and have a child with. This person saying, I swear you don't know a man till your first kid is 3 years old, child. Who you telling? Because I don't think dads necessarily even super are interested in their kids until they can like walk and talk and do things besides just poop and eat and be a blob. I mean, you could tell, like I could tell my kids' dads like love them from jump, but like the interest is like, okay, they're just kind of there. They're not like all in lovey-dovey into them like moms are, I guess you could say, but they kind of are actually. Well, anyways, yeah. Anyways, it just depends on the man. So the next person is saying, oh, they absolutely change once you marry them. Yes, they do. I don't know what it is about marriage, man, but it changes. It changes you. This guy says, oh yes, live with a man before getting married. That'd definitely want him to commit to finally marrying you. Loving that, exactly. Because it's like it takes all the wonder out, and it's like he's spending too much time with you, so he's probably going to be sick of you, like they did during COVID. People were getting divorced in droves, and two, he's seeing like all the little intricate, all the stuff he don't want it. You probably don't want him seeing before you've locked him in. So, not the best advice, but like I said, to each his own. Everyone's situation is different. So you have to play that by ear, I guess. So this person is saying, so many women here that have no clue. I thank God I married a man that was not my equal, or I would not have ever become the woman I am today. Whew, no comment. You got married to slave your life away. Okay, yikes. She's just coming in assuming her marriage is awful. Then she's saying, I stopped working when I became pregnant. So yeah, I'm currently just working on growing our child. Why is everyone always feeling like they need to be better than someone else? It's really annoying. Like, you came here to say that, and then they're like, I'm better than you. Like, that doesn't make sense. The woman literally never even attacked her. That is so strange. She said, I've never had to worry about our bills. Even when I stopped working 9 months ago, my husband's got it. And is still helping around the house. Like, huh? And we take multiple vacations a year. She's lying. Always have. You keep thinking you're doing something, though. You keep being a bitter old crone. Here's hoping you didn't reproduce and hopefully Hub's brain problems stay away. What is she talking about? Keep envying the young because you'll be gone soon. What a weirdo. Oh my gosh, she's still talking. This is odd. Not as triggered as you are to sit there and be big and jealous of someone in their 20s that achieved more than you did at the same age. Okay, not very. This person's not nice. And is just explaining why kids are a mess today. It's like, if they're online looking at the grown-ups misbehave, and even in real life, it's like, why should kids behave? Like, the grown-ups are really a hot mess. And she's calling her grandma, not respecting the elders, saying, I know you can't think of anything else. Have fun being thrown in a home. Anyway, like I said, my husband and I are headed out to get breakfast. Ciao. I think that the angel deleted her comments, and I don't blame her. It's like, child, bye. I'm not going back and forth with a 20-year-old. She said, big and bitter. Now, really, I'd rather talk to my husband. Bye. And then Angel says, sure, little girl. So triggered. Yeah, I'm like, that's a lot of commenting. Oh my gosh, she's still going. She said, woo, not you tagging me 30 minutes after I left you. Imagine being obsessed with little old me. I know I'm cute and all, but this is just too much. Then the woman's saying, again, you came after me. LOL, I'm just wasting your data because you got to pay that phone. LOL. Woo, what a mess. So the next one is saying, oh, look, we found one here in your comment replies. The risk of all that changing, though. Yep. So true. I found out the hard way. So she said it worked for her to live she feels like she should have lived with her partner before she got married. The other woman is saying people change, or there's like a risk, I think. The next one is saying most of those red flags are overlooked because they're all in love. Exactly. But people just gonna act like we're all robots and we don't fall in love. It's like, bye. That's how you get multiple baby daddies. What? Okay, so this person is claiming that living with the person first is going to get you multiple baby daddies. Got it. Next one is saying, sometimes people change. My other half used to keep things clean, but the moment we had a kid, she started trashing everything. Honestly, I paid someone to come help me clean for 6 hours while she was gone and got 60% of the house spotless. She came home and I sent the picture of what it looked like 3 hours after she came home, and they wanted to know what the F. How is that possible? Who's they? Was she trashing things, or was it that she didn't have the time, energy to bring everything back up to the zero message you took for granted and never helped accomplish before? Babies, toddlers are all consuming. You hired someone and cleaned together for 6 hours uninterrupted. Only accomplished 60% of the house in that time. Wow, that's 12 hours work for 60% clean. How many hours in a day does your wife have? How has that not changed your perspective on how much time it takes to clean things? Wiping food off the counter takes the time it takes, even if you already did it 10 times that day. Same with every task, even if you do regular upkeeps on everything, babies, toddlers, etc. take priority and make extra messes. Give her more grace, more help, and consider with an attitude like yours, she probably also had to cope with postpartum depression and total sleeplessness. I assume you didn't get up to help at night because you neglected to brag about how you did a good job with that part too. So remember also that women with cluster feeding newborns need to prioritize rest and recovery. I don't know what that means, the cluster thing, but perhaps you should be asking yourself why you haven't been stepping up to clean more as a regular thing if you're so good at it. Yeah, and I'm like, he didn't even say he cleaned up. He said he hired someone. So why didn't you have your wife help? Why didn't you hire someone for your wife to help clean? Like, why did you get to have someone to hire, but she was supposed to be just scrubbing away? Ciao, bye. This person says, sent you a pic of what she did to it within 3 hours of coming home. Just one part, tell me if that looks normal for someone being home only 3 hours. Yeah, we're not going to believe you. But anyways, she did the same to the rest of the house within 24 hours of being home. Blows her nose in tissue paper and just throws it on the living room floor extra. Hence why she's about to be an ex. Oh, that's disgusting. You didn't notice that behavior before you had kids with her? Next one saying, John Powell, having a kid is real hard. My kid, he should have, look, on this guy, he should have chose better, right, y'all? He should have chose better. So this one saying, John Powell, having a kid is real hard. My kid woke me up every hour or two at night for the boob. They eat like every 2 hours. I never got to go to full REM mode sleep. Trust me, when you are that tired, it's hard to do anything. Babies intensify everything, and then hormones get out of whack. My pregnancy has caused me outcomes, hypothyroidism, hormones-based cancer treatment pushed over liver issues to reveal fatty liver disease. You don't know how her body may be effed right now, so please have patience. So he's responding saying, the only kid we have turns 12 in 4 months. Been waiting for him to. Should know the situation before commenting. Though you are part right when trying to have him, we had 8 miscarriages. She went crazy and still refuses to accept she has a problem, though. She would sit on the couch and tear her own hair out. Our son cleans up after her, and at 12, he can choose what parent to stay with. He loves her, but sees she has problems too, sadly. Well, she just sounds like she needs some therapy, like most people in America. This person is saying, we change after kids, though. I was awful before my kids. Your kids really do grow some of us up. This person saying this, my husband and my priorities changed after having kids. We both became better for them and because of them. Exactly. Yep. And I would hope most of us have become better people because of our children. Bravo, sister. Yeah, I got better with kids. That's the guy saying that. Another person saying some hide it for years. This friend saying amen. This friend saying, one of the reasons why I called off my wedding to my ex, I was working full-time and going to school full-time while also being in charge of all our bills. I quote unquote nagged him to clean the house weekly. I'm not a neat freak by any standards, but when the sink is overflowing with dishes, there's obviously dirt junk that needs to be swept and 3 full laundry baskets of dirty clothes. 1 or 2 things need to be done. I didn't ask him to vacuum, dust, or even scrub the bathroom. Just do the dishes, sweep, and start laundry. He never did. This guy. The fight was just so exhausting. And the funny thing was that after 4 to 5 months of me being burnt out with him, he had the nerve to ask me when I was going to send out our save the dates for our wedding. Ciao, bye. Yeah, you can't wait to get yourself a slave. I was just like, dude, I'm not marrying you. Why would I ever get married to you when you can't even wash your own clothes? And his attempt to fix the situation was to hire a maid service that I ended up paying for. Edit. And he wanted praise and thanks for doing that because the house was clean just like I asked. Yeah, and I paid for it. Girl, you dodged a bullet. Get out, get out, get out. Ooh, Lord. That ain't a walking red flag. I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's giving some straight narcissism. This person is saying his parents always hyped him up about how I didn't let him spend his money the way he wanted. I was just trying to get our... Oh, that's a whole nother story. The family's getting involved. I was just trying to get our bills paid first. It's not my fault he didn't have money left over because he was paying off credit card debt. His parents had literally filed for bankruptcy twice because they had so much debt. He and I were together for almost 4 years, and in that time, they moved to 3 different apartments/houses because they always missed rent and got evicted. It's probably why they're worrying about how he's spending his money because they're borrowing it. Where are we at? I don't think he has a concept of cleaning because he never lived anywhere long enough that he had to clean it. His family would just move to a new place. And after we broke up, I found out he had been paying their electric bill because they had so much back debt with their electric company that they couldn't get their power turned on under their name anymore. So they put it under his name. This was 2 grown adults in their 40s who both worked. But they did have an 80-inch TV with surround sound and a new PS5, Xbox Wii, and both his dad and little brother got Switches for one Christmas. They also cycled through like 4 different cars in the time I knew them. An old coworker of mine told me they moved into a crappy 2-bedroom apartment together because they got evicted again. So they have 5 people. My ex, his parents, and his 2 younger brothers, age 17 and 11, living there. That's 3 grown adults and a teenager capable of getting a job, and they can't afford to pay their bills. I definitely dodged a bullet with him and his family. He easily would have had me burning through all the money on useless items we didn't need. Now I'm in the process of remodeling and expanding my own home. I might not have a big TV, a brand new car, or a Google Home system with a smart fridge, but I was able to add a 3rd bedroom and 2nd story to my house. Girl, good for you. So you all get the point. Women are exhausted. Let me know what you all think about all these crazy comments and this video. And I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. Thank you to all my subscribers, my new subscribers, my day ones. I love you all, and I'll see you real soon.